Bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about
comic books, costumes,
facts,
boots, and other stuff.
In this week's issue, Captain V, the Puppeteer.
Welcome into Bros, Foes, and Heroes. I am Zach, joined by the Raven to my Puppeteer, Mr. Mike.
Raven and Puppeteer.
Puppeteer.
Fantastic.
Because today's character is going to be the Puppeteer.
The Puppeteer.
I know that it sounds like it probably should be a villain. That is not necessarily the case.
Really?
It is another Golden Age hero. Another adventure from back in the 40s as we had last week.
Yeah.
Just an explanation for those tuning in for the first time. Each week, Mike and I dive into a superhero or villain, some just character from the world of comics.
Right.
And, well, Mike has no idea who I bring to him.
I do not.
Usually I try to find some of the most absurd, some of the most ridiculous, and sometimes just some good stuff from here from time to time.
Yeah.
And we just dive into it and have fun along the way. So welcome to this journey, and let's travel back in our Wayback Machine, as Mr. Peabody would
Professor.
say to Sheldon. Is that
Sheldon,
I
yeah.
love Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Mr. Peabody.
Does the
Professor
dog.
also? Was
Professor.
there a Professor?
Well, it was Professor Peabody.
Professor Peabody. That's what it is, yeah.
And his boy Sheldon.
Oh, yeah. Bullwinkle was great.
I have, and I'm probably way more excited than anybody should be who has this, but I own the complete series from the 60s,
Oh, wow.
all 1 through 5, and I still enjoy watching them to this day. They're hilarious.
They really are. They're very good.
Kids'
They are.
cartoons.
They're the closest that you can get to adult-oriented Looney Tune stuff. You know, Looney Tunes was doing the same thing about then, but yeah.
So,
Yeah, very good stuff.
oh, great stuff. So we're going
Terrible
to go
movie.
back. Well, Robert De Niro was in it. I mean, that's something.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so we're actually looking at the same publisher as we did last week.
What is comics' obsession with puppets, by the way?
I don't know.
Because puppets show up a lot in comics.
Yes, they do.
And they're always
early
really
on.
lame.
Yeah. There's never like a cool...
No, because puppets aren't cool.
But at the same time, has ever been anything puppet related that's... I'm not trying to diss on, puppeteers, but...
That's what I'm saying. I don't know that puppets have ever been cool. It's like magic. It's the same kind of thing.
Some magic can be enjoyable.
It can be enjoyable. So can puppets.
But
cool?
That's true. I recently rewatched That Thing You Do, and there's the part where they walk into the store that they rented there.
Right.
Yeah, and on the TV it's the Thunderbirds. You remember that little?
Oh yeah.
That freaked me out as a kid.
Thunderbirds were great, and that without Thunderbirds you wouldn't have Team America.
Yeah,
That's Thunderbirds basically.
It is. Oh yeah, it is. And
darker.
It's funny, but it's still a little creepy.
Sure.
But,
it's all creepy. Yeah. There's nothing creepier though than what is it? Paddlefoot. What was it? The guy, Clutch Cargo. The guy with the just his mouth moved. Oof, that's creepy.
Oh man!
And then to watch Conan redo it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, see, I get that now. Like I didn't get the bit the first time I saw. Like it was funny, obviously, because of his lips moving.
Yeah.
But now it's funnier on another level now after seeing and knowing what Clutch Cargo is.
Clutch Cargo is ridiculous.
But it is very creepy to see like human lips move.
That is the cheapest animation that's ever been created.
And the animation doesn't.
Yes. Nobody moves.
Yeah.
It's just their mouth.
Do yourself a favor and look up Clutch Cargo. Another hero here on the same level.
Sorry.
The Puppeteer.
I took you down the wrong road.
Oh, no, that's fine. I will always go down the Clutch Cargo road. Another Fox Features.
Fox Features.
They were the publisher for this. It is a character created by Alec Hope. And it is actually weirdly a character that is just repurposed from another character.
Of course.
Originally starting out as Captain V was his name for an issue.
Captain V?
Yeah, here's the thing. They completely changed his name, changed nothing about the costume.
Okay.
All they changed from Captain V's name to the Puppeteer's name is he went from Alan Dale to Alan Hale. They could only be bothered to change one letter.
What?
So,
wow.
And power's the exact same too.
Oh, nice.
Now
I'm really hoping he got a big V on his
He does.
chest. Okay. Even as the puppeteer. He's got a big V.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's, as you can see in this little picture here.
Oh, yeah.
Even with.
They all look the same.
Yes. So they didn't even change the art. They just changed the character's name.
Well, what I'm saying, though, is all of these guys look the same. They're all red and yellow and blue, and they have stars and stripes on them, and they have that domino mask.
Well, it's something very. No, he doesn't have the domino mask.
Oh, I just assumed.
Sorry. It's like weirdly drawn, like face squiggles.
Ooh, I don't like that.
He's got a
what
bunch
are they
of
doing to this
forehead
poor
wrinkles.
lady's head next to him? It looks like they're
okay.
shaving her forehead.
I could not find. That's the only story I did not find of the Puppeteer. It says the Puppeteer, the bleeding statue is the name of the story.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but so they changed nothing about the character except the name, and they gave him a profession as. I want you to take one guess, Mike.
God, I hope
as
he
what
works
a
in a
guy
college.
named the Puppeteer. Okay, I'm going to give you two guesses, Mike. What do you think the Puppeteer's day job would be?
I guess he works at a puppet theater, or maybe he's a magic guy.
He is a maker of puppets.
Ah, there we go. Yeah. Okay.
So,
sure.
You know what they say in Superhero 101?
What do you call that? A puppeteer.
A puppeteer. In Superhero 101,
Okay.
if you can't figure out a name for your hero,
Sure.
just use your job.
Yeah, just use whatever they actually
So,
do. Yeah.
you know.
It's like the porn thing where you use the street you grew up on and whatever else. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's what we have here.
This one's even lazier. It's just your job.
I want to fight crime. What's your job? I'll be the puppeteer.
I'm the manhole polisher.
He doesn't wear a mask,
Yeah.
and nobody ever realizes
Sure.
that the puppeteer is our only local puppeteer.
Yeah, it's not like there's a big factory full of puppet makers.
No, you can't think that there's just tons of puppet makers around wherever,
Yeah.
this is taking place.
I can't even think of a place where there would be a glut of puppet makers.
Exactly. Yeah, no. So
Siegfried and Roy's house.
the funny thing is, in his only adventure as Captain V,
Sure.
Alan Dell, he battled a group known as the Royal Crime Family, or the Royal Family of Crime.
Okay.
That's the only story it's in. From here on out, after that one issue, he's the puppeteer.
Okay.
They changed his last name from Alan.
Did they give him origin story as Captain V?
No.
Oh, okay.
And did you want a puppeteer origin story?
Yeah, I don't get one of those either, do I?
No, not really.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Because his power is he can travel on like a light beam.
Like puppets
It's
can.
like a V shape.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Red, white, and blue, of course.
Of course. Yeah.
And it says he has super strength, but there's times a lot when he fights villains that he is getting his ass kicked. So I don't know.
He can also blow the biggest bubbles.
Yeah. That's his only powers. So how is that at all related to his job?
Yeah, I don't know.
A light beam and super strength. He's the puppeteer.
Because here's my thing with the puppeteer, you ought to be able to control people.
Yeah, nope.
I mean, that's all there is to it, right?
You want to know who is able to do that, though?
Huh.
One of the villains he comes across.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So his villain can come up with ideas like that, but not the puppeteer.
Oh, poor
so
guy.
we haven't even got to the best parts.
Poor
Mike.
puppet boy.
So I have basically laid down who the puppeteer is.
Yeah.
I read through two separate stories of his. That they're
Okay.
very short, so it's not going to take long for us to go through.
Okay.
They're absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Let me also tell you that the puppeteer does not work alone. He has a sidekick,
Okay.
a bald eagle.
There's no reason for that.
You want to guess the bald eagle's name?
Is it Eagly?
No, it's Raven.
Oh, no. Come on.
And they act throughout the story like it's a raven, but he's drawn like a bald eagle. Is there any way you would mistake that bird for a raven?
I don't even see the damn bird. Oh, no, that's an eagle. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got a white head.
His name's Raven, and they refer to him as if he is a raven throughout the story.
Come on.
Oh,
Wow.
I never told you, I guess, back in the day
The
how
Raven.
we talked about Rocky and Bullwinkle, another
Sure.
classic cartoon, Underdog.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Remember
Underdog.
he would, or even Superman would jump into the phone booth to
Yeah.
quick
Yeah,
costume
absolutely,
change.
sure.
Remember when characters had to like get ready to fight crime? So you know how what gets the puppeteer from just regular Alan Hale into the puppeteer? He has a special organ in his puppet shop
I bet he does.
that somebody that somebody has to play the first notes of Beethoven's Fifth Symphony.
How limiting. Dear God. Anybody got a $2 bill? I have to change into my secret identity.
No, but it has to be played from the workshop. That's the only place this organ is at.
Oh my God.
So there is in this story.
That's ridiculous.
But yeah, so it's somebody has to play dun 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 dun. And
there he comes.
And then now he is the puppeteer.
Wow. Where does this Raven/Eagle hang out?
With him. Oh, he can talk, by the way, too.
Oh, that's even better. Where is James Gunn? Give him a call, would you?
So basically the first story.
This is public domain, correct?
Yes.
Oh, we're going to have a field day.
Yeah. So this and the dark, like Mike, we have so much at our fingertips here.
We really do need to invest in that time.
Basically the story here, it's the adventure of the false Raja. Because remember also in the 40s, very Middle Eastern interest.
Sure. Everybody's a Raja.
Yeah, I think we also talked about way back in episode 1
right,
with Black Condor about, weren't they in Malaysia or whatever? Like
something
there was
like
very Middle Eastern influences on a lot of stuff.
Well, it was
not Middle Eastern, but just Asian and
at that point, I think it was still called like the Dark Continent or something like that, or maybe that's Africa.
Well, you know what I found out the other day is you've seen Fantasia, right?
I have.
You remember the dinosaur? I mean, you're gonna have to try to think back. The dinosaur scene where it shows them
I remember it. Yeah,
like the drought and them like passing, dying in the drought. The reason it's presented like that isn't because it's like a kid's movie. It's the fact that scientists at the time thought that's how the dinosaurs died.
They thought a drought killed all the dinosaurs.
Or like they hadn't fully accepted the whole Big Bang thing. Like it's weird to think like, how far we've come in thinking that. So it's like.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So there you go. There's a random Fantasia fact.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Ding.
Do you feel smarter? The page. So the false Raja, I don't even remember how we got there.
False Raja
is the name of this story.
Yeah.
Basically, they kidnap the Raja, and they're looking for these diamonds that he has.
Is he wearing a turban? Yeah.
Of course he is.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, it's
always a turban, and it's always diamonds.
There's a part where they
unless it's like a. What's the green like a jade or a
or emerald or
it's
so
precious rubies.
Basically, our hero hears on the radio that the Raja's in town with his diamonds.
Sure,
and he's like, "Hey,
it's
Raven!"
a big deal back then.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, Raven, let's go visit him. Remember when we made him those 100 puppets?"
Sure, I do.
And so basically, they just show up at the hotel. And they're like, "Hey, we're here to see the Raja."
Wait! You just glossed over something. You said, "Remember when we made him those 100 puppets?"
It never expounded upon it.
Okay.
So
this is my favorite so far. By the way, this is great.
So they show up there at the hotel and they demand to speak. They're like, "Hey, we're here to see the Raja," and he's like, "He's not having any visitors." And he's like, "Well, he knows us.
It's soup time."
Yeah, he's like, "We hear his voice in there."
Sure.
And he's like, "No, he's not seeing visitors." They turn around, they walk away, and the puppeteer says to Raven, he's like, "Hey, did you notice that suspicious that he has an Irish accent and his turban's tied?"
Oh no! Come on! Wow.
An Irish accent.
Okay, we've gone to the point where that's the ridiculous part. It's not the fact that he turns to his bald eagle named Raven and says, "Hey, did you notice?"
Yeah. So they decide something's up. They bust into they sneak into the hotel. I don't even remember. They get into the hotel room.
Sure, yeah, it doesn't matter.
They come across the fact that there's just a record playing that is like the Raja's voice recorded giving a speech or something to trick, like, "Oh, that's just a player. That's just a record on the old Victrola. That's not the real Raja." Sure.
It was one of those. It was one of those tubes, the tube records.
But they get kidnapped. Like his men they kidnap him. They lock him in a room.
Sure.
He's not the puppeteer. He's still just Alan Hale here.
Well, nobody's started the Beethoven.
He lets Raven, I always want to call him Eagly so bad. He lets Raven through an air duct out of the hotel, and he flies back to the puppet shop and he plays Beethoven's Fifth Symphony.
Wait, the eagle does? Oh, fantastic. Caw.
And he turns into the puppeteer, and he's able to break out of the room.
Caw, says the eagle.
No, I think I saved some of his actual words. Also in the middle of this book, it's just because it was so weird, and I know it's a sign of the times, but I came across a comic that was also in there.
Oh yeah,
of a feline character. Like so the first issue here of the Puppeteer is inside of a collection of comics.
Yeah.
They all had stupid names kind of in a way, or just silly names like All Top Comics Volume 1 or All Great Comics or, good books to, I didn't even read that. Hold on. I just took a picture of the headlines.
Yeah. So can I say the character's name?
Yeah.
It's a anthropomorphic cat. That's a woman. And it's called
Earmuffs for Kids.
Yes.
There we go. Go.
Pussy Catnip.
All right.
Yeah, that's rough. I don't understand why they couldn't fit all the words in.
I love how it says
it's
famous.
hyphenated.
It says famous entree. Oh, I'm an idiot. It's famous entrepreneur. I thought that they hyphenated it on purpose.
Famous entrepreneur.
I thought that they hyphenated it to make like a cat food joke. I was overthinking the own thing, but famous entrepreneur takes time out from her usual activities to dabble in an equine escapade. So in it, these
there's nothing right about any of those words.
These anamorphic cats and dogs are at a ranch riding horses.
Is it anamorphic or anapomorphic?
I think
anapomorphic, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, there's a P in there.
Well, I always feel stupid saying that word because I don't know if it's right or not.
Yeah. It's the name of the story is The Fizz That Fizzled.
The Fizz That Fizzled. Sure.
So,
and it has to do with horses.
Very, very weird book. Basically, to wrap up the first Puppeteer.
Pussy Catnip.
Yeah. I couldn't, I was like, I saw that and I was like, all right, I gotta make sure to tell Mike about that.
Love that. No, dear God.
Oh, sorry. Allergies.
Zach just imploded.
I did. My bad. So, to wrap up the Raja story, he basically goes to the police as the Puppeteer and just tells them, hey, there's something up with the Raja. And the police just are like, all right, let's go check it out.
We trust you, Puppeteer.
Exactly. We
trust you, Captain V. No. It's Puppeteer now.
Everybody already knows who the Puppeteer is. It's never explained what crime he's fought before this or how he got his powers or anything. It's just they accept. Yeah. Basically, they find the real Raja. The diamonds are hidden in some vase. Mm-hmm. It's a really simple story.
Sure.
The only reason I bring up the Victrola plane for the speech part is because it's used again in another issue.
The same thing?
The same bit.
Oh, no.
He only has 6 or 7 appearances, and they used the same gag twice.
Wow.
So in this last one I was able to read,
they truly formed a template and just said, boom, boom, boom. We did 3 of them.
Yep. So, oh man, and it's about to get very racist too.
What a golden time to work, in the comics industry. Just come up with anything, guys. I don't care. The kids love it.
Yeah. So then in the next one, there's a villain introduced named Professor Eerie.
Okay.
Because he's spooky, I guess. Not like Erie, Pennsylvania.
Okay, sure.
Or is it Pennsylvania
I think
or Ohio?
I think it's Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Okay. Indiana? Erie, Indiana was a show, wasn't it?
Erie, Indiana was, I believe it was Indiana. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Come at us. We don't care.
So Professor Eerie has escaped from jail with his sidekick named Mr. Toad or Toad.
Okay.
The only reason he's called that is because he's a short, rather plump man and he wears a green suit.
Okay.
And
that's very comics.
It is, but they mentioned he looked like a toad. Now, when I would describe somebody, I would say he wore a green suit. I wouldn't say he looked like a frog. It's just very kind of weird. But Professor Eerie has escaped from prison. And Alan Hale hears about this on the radio because
I just love the fact that his name is Alan Hale.
Yeah.
That's the guy from F Troop. Right? Do you know the show F Troop?
No, I don't.
Okay. I'll tell you about Alan Hale later. I think it's right. It's either Alan Hale was either F Troop or anyway, doesn't matter.
All right.
Old comic actor.
So he hears on the radio, calling all cars, calling all cars.
I wish they still did that.
You know, and it's a weird thing to me to think that there was a time that you would listen to the radio and you could hear, if, you know, the cops call out. Like, imagine that now. You're listening to Spotify and all of a sudden, like, you just get police
calling
radio blotter. Yeah.
Calling all cars.
It's just a weird
concept.
concept.
No, it was the skipper from Gilligan's Island.
Oh,
that's
okay.
Alan Hale.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Then, I know who you're talking about. So he decides that, I'm going to go see what's up. That's how he hears about Professor Eerie escaping from the prison.
Right.
That's what I found out that was weird about that is because they go, news is that he's headed our way. Like,
where?
How do you know that, the cops have shown up and they're like, he escaped jail and I bet you he's headed to that town. Very odd.
Yeah.
So he prepares and he's thinking, Alan thinks, you know what? I probably should change to the puppeteer. I bet you he's out for revenge to the 3 people that put him away.
Okay.
Which is a famous violinist.
Stradivarius.
And then some type of scientist and his daughter. Okay.
Okay.
Those are the 3
Dr.
people.
Neutron.
Yeah. Not important. So these characters have no dialogue, so not important.
Right.
But the puppeteer decides he's going to check on the violinist first. Shows up at his house. And we're here to see, the famous violinist. And his butler will not let him in. He does not want to be disturbed while he's playing music.
Sure.
Pushes the butler aside, busts in. It's a record playing on the Victrola again.
No.
I feel like we've seen this before.
Yeah.
So then he's like, let's go check out, talking to Raven, of course. Let's go check out, the scientist and his daughter. Well, finds out their house is for rent already.
It's 2 records playing inside.
Just
Daddy.
Yeah, the kidnapper made them record records of a conversation before they left.
It's the recordist.
But so at the start of this story, I'm assuming we're in the same day here.
Yeah.
Basically, it goes from, hey, the professor's escaped. He's already kidnapped the violinist. And then now,
there's people just walking around in the studio.
He has just, when he goes to check on the scientist and his daughter, their house is for rent.
Okay.
Already in 1 day span.
Sure. Yeah. That's
it's super, that's
if
very,
you're, if you're
very
a detective,
quick too.
that's where you start.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he realizes, all right, well, I'm going to go hunt him down. He finds the professor, where we notice that he has hypnotized the all 3 witnesses.
Wait, the professor has hypnotized
the
3
professor
witnesses?
has hypnotized all 3 witnesses. My apologies for not explaining.
No. I think you did. I just wasn't following along. Yeah. Which that's the most that's the thing you've said that makes the most sense. The professor, right, quote unquote, the professor has hypnotized 3 witnesses.
Exactly.
That sounds more comic booky.
To basically make them his like human dolls and just act out whatever he wants to, and then he'll dispose of them when he's done.
Kind of like puppets.
Exactly. The villain is
thing.
better than the hero. And so then the puppeteer shows up. They get in a little battle back and forth.
Skirmish.
And the puppeteer's like, I felt something sharp poke me. And the professor goes, yes, you did. There's poison hidden under my nail.
Huh?
His fingernail.
Okay.
Was apparently sharp enough to inject.
Well, wait. Wouldn't the poison get to him?
Not explained.
Okay.
What if he accidentally was like, had
scratches himself.
Forgot.
Yeah. Whoops, I'm dead.
So now the puppeteer is hypnotized as well.
Okay, so the poison hypnotizes people.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So you're following Professor Eerie. You're like, all right, solid bad guy so far.
Plan. Yeah.
Now his plan is to encase them in glass.
Of course.
And go on tour outside of the police jurisdiction.
What?
So he can't be arrested for it.
What? Huh?
Yep. Nope. Just go outside police jurisdiction. And they're going to go on tour.
That's like saying I'm going to start a casino at sea or something,
to go on tour to see his wax figures.
Wow.
That's his giant
plan
scheme here.
Huh.
So
he's not going to kill him.
Eventually, when he's grown tired of
I
them.
guess when they've melted a bit.
Yeah. Which is the thing is, I know people are stupid, but I feel like some people would be like,
that's a real person.
Yeah.
Well, they're in glass.
That's true too.
I mean,
though.
come on.
Maybe they can't. Yeah. But
everybody knows that you can't permeate glass. I mean, you can't get through glass.
But as great as Professor Eerie was, you know who you forgot about? Raven.
All right.
Raven decides, hey, I'm going to go and help out my friend here. I'm going to read directly from.
He stopped at his organ playing gig that he was at.
Now he has talked.
Okay.
To the puppeteer.
Okay.
Throughout all the comics I've read.
Yeah.
When he goes and talks to the police, all he says is caw, 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 caw. And they say, they know him though, and say it's Raven. They act like it's cool to call the bald eagle Raven. They're just like, hey, it's Raven.
God.
And then the cop goes, probably here to pick up some of our tips on the Eerie case, the Professor Eerie case. Sure. So the puppeteer will solve it, making us look silly. I'll break the case myself. Scram, you crow. So.
Scram, you crow.
It's a bald eagle named Raven.
They call it a crow.
Being called a crow.
Sure.
Also, I bet you he's coming to steal news. I'm not going to let him solve the case. Remember that too, because very quickly.
Cops are big on taking credit.
But very quickly do their tunes change in like a matter of minutes.
Okay.
So then Raven goes, some nerve calling me a crow. Really offended by that.
Wait, the bald eagle just said, some nerve calling me a crow.
Exactly. And
my name is Raven.
Well, it looks like I'll have to figure out some way of helping the puppeteer myself. Because they shoo him off.
Okay.
So
he shits on their cars.
Raven's great plan is to talk to the horses.
Okay. Yeah.
So he comes down and he's by the horses and goes, caw, caw. Help me out, boys. Make yourselves hard to handle. So, I scared them. Oh, they're beginning to stampede.
And just then, Pussy Fiddlesticks shows up and saves the day.
Oh, it's like a Bond woman.
Pussy Fiddlesticks.
Oh man.
So this bald eagle has been called a crow and shooed away by the cops, whose name is Raven.
Yeah.
Went and tried to talk to the horses and scared the horses so much that they're now stampeding.
You know, I realize exactly.
I'm following.
And while I leave you there, I realize I forgot something to tell you about.
Okay.
That he searched the professor's office for a clue.
Sure he did.
And got a receipt to a costume store. Right?
All right. Let's throw some more weirdness in.
So he goes to the costume store and the guy's like, it'll be like $6.50 when he walks in. And he thinks that he's there to have his costume washed.
Oh.
And he's like, oh, I didn't realize it was actually you, the real puppeteer.
There's a bunch of people just running around in puppeteer costumes.
He's like, I'm so tired of all these make-believers coming in.
Are you serious?
Like, they're shaming, like, yeah. Oh my God. He's like, I already see enough weirdos as it is. Didn't realize it was actually you.
Everybody wants to be the puppeteer these days.
Finds out that it's basically was like a Indian... This is, I didn't explain the leap to the whole wax museum thing. This might make more sense. Yeah. Turns out that they find a sad Indian crying, and Raven comments.
Are we talking the continent of India or an American Indian?
Excuse me. We are talking about Native Americans.
Okay. All right.
I'm using the nomenclature used here in the comics when they reference them.
I get it. Yeah. I don't think anybody out there is blaming you for this.
No,
we're good.
So he goes down and he says, and I'm reading this verbatim. He goes, talk Indian talk so he'll understand is what Raven says to the puppeteer.
Right. Because your bald eagle should explain to you how to speak to a Native American.
Exactly. So puppeteer says, I'll try. Me heap.
Oh, come on.
Yep. Me heap like find out why Indian sitting down makes like rain. Savvy?
No, I don't savvy. I'm sorry.
And the Indian replies, are you nuts? Make with the Yankee Doodle Dandy.
Oh my!
To tell him, why are you speaking to me like that? I speak English.
This is the worst. Heat big rain cloud. Watch out.
Oh my goodness.
Good God.
So then he's like,
at least the Indian stood up for himself.
So then he's like, my mistake. What's wrong? Maybe I can help. To which this man dressed as an Indian says, I'm Pop Smith. I'm just made up as an Indian. Made up a nice living traveling around the country in my wagon.
Come on, Pop.
Selling Indian herb medicine and attracting them with my Chamber of Wax figure show.
Oh,
now it's all gone.
Oh.
So Professor Erie has stolen the wax museum from this man.
From Pops.
From Pop Smith.
Who's dressed like an Indian.
Who's dressed like an Indian.
Making
and very
money
much,
pretending to be an Indian.
I'm assuming, I guess it red face, probably.
Sure.
It looks like
Yeah.
But Pop Smith. So that's where the wax museum came in.
Yeah.
Forgot that ridiculousness. So back to Raven scaring.
Right. He scared the horses. Sure.
They stampede, and it causes the cart that they're pulling the glass in. That's encasing them into the bridge, and it falls into the water. But don't worry, the water reverses the effects of the hypnotic poison.
Well,
and the
everybody knows
puppeteer
that.
comes through, and he rescues all of them out of the glass enclosure.
It's either cold water or a kick to the head by a mule. One of those two will reverse any sort of hypnotism.
Exactly.
Sure.
So he saves them all. And then the cops show up and they say, look, the puppeteer. I guess we did right to see what that crow was circling about and screeching for. So they shoo him off.
So they didn't understand him to begin with.
No, they shoo him off. And then they're like, he's just here to try to solve the case. And then he's like, no, I'm going to solve the case. Wait, maybe he does know something.
This eagle is here to solve the case.
They follow the eagle to find it.
Yeah.
And then they go, puppeteer, how can I thank you?
Puppeteer didn't do squat.
Exactly.
The eagle did.
Yes. And so he goes.
And what would have been so weird about just making the eagle the star of this thing?
Yeah, and they're like, where are you going?
Just have it be a anthropomorphic eagle.
No, I mean, he can play Beethoven's Fifth.
Yeah,
They change him into the puppeteer.
I mean, the guy obviously has some smarts.
So he tells him, oh, I'm after a bad actor.
I'm sorry, I'm Pops dressed up like an eagle.
Pop Smith, man of mystery.
Man of a million faces.
Oh, man, it would be like that really bad Dana Carvey movie.
Yes. Yeah. The one where he's a turtle.
Exactly.
Sure.
So the puppeteer basically goes and just causes the horses to be able to stop and just delivers Professor Erie back to the cops.
That's his little known power.
Yep. And they say,
stampede reversal.
Wait, how can we show our thanks? And the bird replies, caw, tell him to stop calling me a crow. And the puppeteer just laughs.
And then freeze frame.
And that is
credits
the end.
roll.
That is the end of the Puppeteer.
Wow.
Those
I love
two
the Puppeteer.
Great stories. If I really looked, I'm sure I could probably dig up the other ones. They're just going to require a little. They were on the public domain side I was at. But
yeah,
that doesn't mean they're not
I'll
out
need
there
you
somewhere.
to forward me all of those.
So the Puppeteer is there.
The Puppeteer coming to you soon by Rogue Media Network.
Oh man! So
that was
also,
great, Zach.
Yeah, no,
it really was good.
And I think that I might stay going down this route.
I like it.
I didn't realize how much I would enjoy these ridiculousness of the 40s golden age characters.
Yeah.
Because it's all ridiculous.
And none of these people listening know about them.
No, at all. And there's so many ads.
Do you, Jeff?
Within, let me see if I took a picture real quick. The ads within we've talked about before of just the ridiculous things. No, but it was like workout plans so you can look like a real muscular man.
Sure.
And it has like cartoon ladies drawn over, what was his name? Max Muscle or something like that was the spokesman for this.
People getting sand kicked in their face.
Yeah, and then there was all like the back of a boy's life ads, like send it in for your x-ray,
Sure.
glasses, stuff like that. It's really...
I sent in one of those one time wanting some x-ray specs.
What'd you get?
Because they always called them x-ray specs.
Yeah, was it just like...
I didn't get anything.
Oh.
Yeah. I sent things in twice. Well, I guess 3 times really. One time I was ordained a minister from the back of Rolling Stone.
Oh, that's cool.
The second time I sent in for X-ray specs and they never showed up.
Okay.
And then, and I can only assume that, the Russians or something got involved and took all the X-ray specs.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the third time was a haunted sounds record. It was like a little 45 and it was just spooky sounds, right? Halloween type record or whatever. And that one didn't come on time. And so my great grandfather wrote him what he liked to call a hot letter, where that meant that he cussed at him in writing. And then my record showed up.
Oh,
yeah, it was great.
So that goes to show you that cussing does pay off.
Cussing does pay off, kids. Yeah.
It'll get you your record there.
That's right. It'll get your 45 to you.
I get to go see Batman this week.
When is that?
It comes out on the 4th. I'm seeing it on the 1st.
Oh, that's right. God, that's like on a Tuesday?
It's a Tuesday. I don't mind.
Okay.
It's at 7. So
you're gonna you're going to let me know afterwards, right?
Oh, yeah.
Please let me know. Yeah.
I have not looked forward to a movie in so long.
Yeah. Huh. That's great, man. Yeah, I'm excited.
I am stoked for this. So I'll give it a couple weeks, of course, obviously, before we say anything about it. But I am really excited.
Let's talk about it next week. Let's just spoil it for everybody.
All right.
Yeah,
we'll talk about it some next week. We'll also have another great. I think I'm going to keep in the 40s.
Those are great, man.
Yeah. And find another great.
I really did enjoy that one. That was
great, right? I just can't get over the fact that he has none of these superpowers, though, until somebody plays the music.
Well, that and Pussy Fiddlesticks. That's my favorite. Yeah.
I think your last name was Cat.
I don't know what it was, but Fiddlesticks is much better.
Oh, man. As always, find us on Instagram, Bros, Foes, Heroes. Email us, brosfoesandheroes@gmail.com. Also, Rogue Media Network on Instagram. Anything else you would like to plug, Mr.
Also on Instagram, you can find us at Pussy Fiddlesticks. What if that is an actual Instagram? If there's an actual Pussy Fiddlesticks,
I'm looking right now, and
because that would be the greatest thing.
If I have to explain something to my wife, you might have to call in. I might have to be like, hold on, let me call Mike real quick.
Yeah, I made that up. I'm so sorry. It was after an anthropomorphic cat. She goes, she corrects me, and I say, oh, I'm sorry, anamorphic.
Unless they use like some, maybe they use like different symbols for stuff.
There you go.
It's out there if anybody wants it.
Coming soon, guys, at Pussy Fiddlesticks. No, just follow us on RogueMediaNetwork.com.
All right. Until next time, everybody stay safe, and we appreciate it as always.
A golly con.
Bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about. This has been a Rogue Media podcast.